As organizations go, the esports arena is filled with high-degree names that instill automatic recognition, from the fashion-forward 100 Thieves to billion-dollar FaZe Clan. Unlike the rest, however, one true king, more prominently known by their initials OTK, is something of an enigma in the broadcasting space. It, to a point, challenges the custom of business forward. That's not to say these gentlemen aren't business-minded, though. The group of well-known Twitch stars opts instead to take a more comedic persona in the face of all of its endeavors, to the benefit of its own brand culture, one that can, in more aspects than one, be ascribed as simply scuffed, yet still utterly high class. We're a new org, their slogan reads, "These things happen." Originating from their World of Warcraft days, and molded into a content creation machine, the Austin, Texas-based OTK network has, in just the span of only 1 year, revolutionized the way gaming organizations can be recognized. The group has already been crowned the highest viewed live streaming org, with a whopping 25 million eyes on their content by July of this year, 2021. Although made up of a bunch of hooligans, OTK inarguably remains a force to be reckoned with, emboldening the Twitch and broadcasting landscapes by releasing some of the most entertaining shows ever conceived on the platform that likewise feature its most prominent stars. And they're only just getting started. Affectionately known as the class clowns of Twitch, OTK is made up of 6 main faces: Asmongold, Rich W. Campbell, S-Fand, Tips Out, Nick Pago Palom, Mizkif, and Jay Schlatt, the latter of which joined May 23rd of this year. The org also snapped up 2 well-fitting personalities of Seer in October and Tectone just last month, November of 2021. Like the 6 Infinity Stones, each individual not only has their own singular talents and community, but likewise meld to form a new class of humor, culture, and branding, solely residing under the org's banner. At the top of the board is Asmongold. He's Blizzard's biggest fan, the ideal in-your-face persona, who speaks his mind and never apologizes, because his loudly voiced opinions are often truer than most others. Second in command is Rich. He's a natural-born broadcaster filled with kinetic energy that seeps into his adoration for MMOs, from WoW to Final Fantasy XIV. Coming in at third on the list is S-Fand. He's the sports guy, knowing football more than most of your fathers, crowned by his chat as coach. When not playing Madden or simulcasting NFL games, he's hosting the newly introduced Loot Goblins game show. Keeping them all in line is Tips. He remains more or less out of the main picture, but his contributions are focused more so on business and production and the back end. OTK would not be where it is today without him. Joining not long after the introduction of the org itself is NMP. He's the Pogo of the group, despite being the only one with a girlfriend. His love of food and Pokemon sing true throughout his early morning streams, where much of the previous few days' drama gets casually aired out before a light cooking segment, resplendent with plenty of bickering between him and Milena. The most recent addition as co-owner comes in the form of a Jay Schlatt. He's the fallen Minecraft creator who turned his massive YouTube presence of leapfrogging from Misfits videos to the Lunch Club into a lifestyle brand. Then there's Mizkif. He's the Nintendo guy who simultaneously loves getting bullied by his chat, yet cries about it seconds later. Some refer to him as a clout goblin. Others know far too well his schemes as a content god, now accounting for a total of 50% of OTK's total watch hours. Both Seer and Tectone add new flavor to the group, from Seer's specific brand of improv comedy to Tectone's incredible Genshin content. There are also several individuals behind the scenes that keep the cogs turning, allowing OTK to run at its highest degree, main among them being its social media manager, Young Jeff, and cameraman, Finn. Though the latter isn't necessarily an OTK employee, he's still there, and his name still requires recognition. Other, more business-centric names include Brett Ferguson, hired in November for business development, Ashley Hall, OTK Media's talent manager, Thomas Hodjuk, director of marketing, and Christina Laird, its partnerships manager. Like a grand puzzle in the making, OTK is piecing together nicely, rooting itself most prominently all throughout the Twitch ecosystem. They altogether form a literal ring, a crown one might say, wherein content flourishes and their individual communities thrive as one. So, what is the appeal of OTK, aside from its quartet of classy, yet still seemingly contentless group of pseudo-millionaires? Somehow, ironically, it actually is the content. You see, OTK is literally evolving how the space itself can be experienced by pushing boundaries and experimenting with varied degrees of broadcasting. You can witness this best via their YouTube channel, which has a total of 286,000 subscribers and rakes in an average of 108,000 views per week. From Schooled and Loot Goblins to Game Day, and even whatever the hell they let Schlatt do, OTK has a clear-cut message, itself of which was laid to bear by none other than Rich Campbell during his 13-day-long subathon. Legacy. It's all about leaving behind a legacy.
That was how we came up with the org. And I remember there was a moment when I turned to Tips and I turned to Asmon. The three of us were in a room. And I said, if we made it through this day one, we can make it through fucking anything. And you know what? A year later, we're still fucking here. We're better than fucking ever. And I think we're doing something really fucking good for Twitch. So
Clearly, though on the very precipice of that juncture, they already have left behind an everlasting legacy, one that is affectionately scuffed yet still incredibly all-important. Despite their branding, companies like Chipotle and Mountain Dew Game Fuel to Artesian Builds and Current are willing to partner with the organization, promoting and birthing some of OTK's most memorable feats. Aside from brands, there's also the livestream fails community that has grown to truly adore OTK in all of its endeavors, whether it's Miz and his treatment of Shake Shack workers, or NMP's most recent Pago take. LSF runs wild with the OTK adoration. While some might see this as a bad sign, as a negative impact on their image, it truly only amplifies their branding further as staples of Twitch, or the bedrock. Say what you will about LSF and its plethora of baggage, but Twitch wouldn't really be as easily accessible without the many hate threads and out-of-context clips, nor would OTK. Thanks to this varied support, the name OTK will automatically ring true for years to come, as not only new talent joins the circus, but new content unfolds under their ever-innovative banner. While they themselves may jokingly refer to their productions as scuffed, exemplified by their one-year event anniversary, OTK shines brightest via IRL collaborative content. Their newest show, introduced in late November, aptly coined Parasocial, yet again reinforces their commitment to think boldly while also looking outwardly. Instead of keeping things within, they decide instead to go outside their own bounds by opting to broadcast alongside some of the most talented faces in the sphere. From Austin Show, who joined 100 Thieves in early 2021, to the Botez twins, both signed to Envy, a plethora of well-known streamers and content creators likewise helped shape OTK into what it is today. Unlike its rivals, OTK isn't afraid to join forces with varied talent. In fact, it's all the better for it, showcasing an inviting nature that builds upon its community through partnership and inclusion. Asmon said it best in his announcement video.
And so we came up with this idea of making an org and building the org around our friends and building the org around friendship in general.
Sure, business and content are important facets to OTK, but the driving lifeblood of the organization is its commitment to building everlasting and worthwhile relationships. It isn't a competition or a numbers game to OTK. It's a family that only grows the more it produces. Imaru is a prime example, Cloud9 signee who now literally lives in Mizkif's house. Since being featured in a ton of OTK and Miz's streams, her engagement has no sooner flourished. Her talent and brand also fits so perfectly well with the group of hooligans. It's hard to see her anywhere else. It only makes sense that OTK viewership would congregate within her chat. That's not to say that it isn't just her and her personality as well. Without it, her viewership wouldn't be there.
Look at Imaru.
Dog died, cat died, bus delayed, train derailed, wife left, don't have any money left, take everything I got.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Everyone likes me and thinks I'm great in
Jeez.
It's his very reach, an inclusive community that OTK breeds and bleeds. Although not technically an OTK event, ShitCon, a live stream hosted and produced by Milena, brought together nearly all of the biggest streamers on the platform, including Ludwig, Hassan, XQC, Will Neff, Austin Show, and of course, nearly half of OTK. Sure, it wasn't an OTK event, but to anyone on the outside, without any prior knowledge, it still very much felt like one. It's these very endeavors that prove how unafraid and willing OTK is to install itself at the forefront of the Twitch landscape. Beyond its inclusive nature, OTK has likewise given back to the community in a ton of different ways. Alongside their myriad game shows are the hilarious philanthropy events that rake in hundreds of thousands of dollars towards good causes. Their very first charity stream, aimed at raising money for Games for Love, took home $250,000, with an average of 70,000 viewers, all from opening rare Pokemon cards. Those were the days. Several other philanthropically focused streams have aired since, including the June charity auction, which saw Schlatt drunkenly confessing his love to Minx over FaceTime, as his plushie sold for over $30,000. And the September fishing trip, wherein E-Rob caught nothing but L's all day. Combined, these two events both raised $650,000. Their charity stream from earlier this year in March, which aired in Mizkif's streaming room, alone took home $600,000, showing just how noble, thoughtful, and community-focused OTK is beyond simply media production and game show broadcasts. As for forthcoming content, it matters not what this legendary organization comes up with next. Either individually or as a collective, OTK's next production could still be utter dog shit, yet drive numbers into the stratosphere. Look no further than their 1-year anniversary event, wherein Cirrus not only announces a brand new member, but fan-favorite characters were born, including the Airbnb homeowner Karen and lively magician Kevin. Such is the case. Despite being a little scuffed, people still watch. I even gave that stream a full view on the VOD with ads. It's either really good content, even with the scuff marks, or it's the fear of missing out. Maybe a bit of both. It's these combined attributes, alongside an incredibly inviting community, that makes OTK so special. It's the same principle we all felt in high school when not invited to that rager. FOMO is what drives the audience, often mainly conducted by both Miz and Asmon's fanbases, nowadays of which intersect alongside the likes of S-Fan and Rich Campbell as their content evolves. Even Devin Nash agrees. OTK is a brand to watch out for and to keep on everyone's radar. In a video released not days after the org's announcement, the content marketing and streaming guru relays his own Devin Nash stamp of approval to the org, how OTK in its infancy is taking the right steps toward forging a stable path.
A really interesting proposition in this space that it's something that is sorely needed after the vacuum that Method created. And I think it's going to be something way more than Method ever did. I think that it's going to, that if all it manages to do is bring together content creators and think up some unique business ideas, then I think that in of itself is very powerful, but I think that it will do even more than that.
One Shoe King may certainly be a bit snarky and more than a little in your face, but when you really think about it, who better than to wield such a mantle than the class clowns of Twitch, now making strides as among the most daring on the platform. Call me a fanboy if you will, but given their track record, I'm willing to give them a new name entirely. One True Gods. Just don't tell Miz, it'll get his ego far too riled up.
The reason why he's fucking gone. It is the reason why he's gone. You reap what you fucking sow. You say says you, chat. What did I just farm? What kind of community did I farm? The kind of community that Brooke AB says, man, I love coming to your chat because they make me feel better. That's the kind of community I farm, and I'm all for it. That is the community I want. A bunch of idiots that make everyone else feel better, and I feel like shit. I'm all fucking for it.